Hello everyone, it's Artistic Grace. Now, I'm not sure if anybody noticed or even really cared, but the voice in my last video actually wasn't me. It was my very close friend Panda. Originally, the plan was to keep running with that joke for a little while, and I was going to post this video on April Fool's Day. But I figured it would be a bit more fun if I just came right out and said hello. So, since I've never actually myself done this before, I figured I could use this as a bit of an introduction to myself. So, for starters, I'm Shay, and I'm 18. I've been on YouTube for probably almost 10 years now, which is honestly really kind of scary to think about. But, so I got my start on a different YouTube account several years ago, and the content was still speed paints, but it was pretty much just nothing but recolors. Which is a little bit embarrassing to admit, but I think especially if you got your start on YouTube back in those early days. I mean, I was 9 years old. So it's not really a surprise that that was the first thing that I really put myself into and used to put myself out there. Now, I doubt this really comes as much of a shock for anyone, especially considering my last statement and also the point of this speed paint. I used to be super into the Sonic fandom, and finding a niche place for yourself like that back in those days was really easy, and it was a lot of fun. I used to really, enjoy it a lot, I'm not even going to lie. And it kind of helped shape the idea of how I wanted my art to look today, which is also kind of scary. But it was through the help of a lot of really nice people who talked and roleplayed with me back then when I was, still really little and impressionable. That I feel like I've been able to grow and continue growing as much as I have over the last few years. I'm not sure if anybody really remembers, but I used to make those little Sonic chat rooms. I would never post them or anything, but I used to watch them constantly non-stop. And so I tried my own, and it was always with my own OCs. It's really funny to think about now, but I was so serious about it when I was, 9, 10, 11. But it's fun to look back on those things and see, what brought me to where I am now, and the fact that my likes still really haven't changed too much. But now, moving on into something a little less embarrassing, I use Paint Tool Sci. I've used Paint Tool Sci for probably close to 6 years now, and I started using it shortly after I got my tablet when I was about 11 years old. I used to be an MS Paint only baby, and I'll readily admit that I still have muscle memory for how to use the curve tool to make those clean recolor lines. Sometimes for effects and things like that though, I'll jump over to Photoshop, because I'll admit there are quite a few things that Photoshop can do that Sci can't, and being able to use them both interchangeably is honestly really helpful and nice. So, on that same note, I do have a few speed paints underway right now that I'm working on and recording, but I am 10 times, 20 times more active on my DeviantArt account. I do have a Tumblr and I do have a Twitter, but to be really honest, I'm a bit too shy to really post my art actively on those sites. So if you're interested in seeing more content from me on a usually weekly basis, then DeviantArt is usually the best way to go. And it's honestly also usually the best way to get a hold of me. Sometimes I have requests open, not as often anymore, but I still try to do them from time to time. But commissions are always open, and I'm generally open to hearing suggestions for fan art and things like that, characters that anybody wants to see. So if you're interested in anything like that, then feel free to jump over to my DeviantArt. All of those links and all the info for anything in this video are in the description every time. Since I normally really don't have that much to talk about, I probably will only do voiceovers like this one if there's a specific question somebody wants answered, or if there's maybe a specific update that I have that I need to share. But honestly, this has been pretty fun, so if I find anything I think is interesting or might be fun to talk about, I'll probably do this again. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!